Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can actually host your website on Amazon S3. So usually when you have a website, you have your HTML files, you have your CSS files, and you actually do all the work. You code your website. Your website looks nice, but you cannot figure out exactly how you want to host it. And you go looking for a domain name, and you go to all these these uh, domain hosting services, and you're trying to figure out which one you want to use. Amazon S3, AWS S3 actually makes it fairly easy for you to actually host your website. So let's get started here. So I'm on the Amazon S3 official page, and we can see S3 is Amazon's storage service. So you store files as objects pretty much, and you have 5 gigabytes of S3 standard storage for your free tier. So if you just created an account, you got free tier, you can actually use 5 gigabytes of storage without any charge. So if you're following on the demo, you just created an account. You're not gonna get charged for anything we do here today. So here's just some benefits of like some properties of Amazon S3. You got very durable storage. You can actually reduce costs by actually using different storage classes, and there's several other benefits. You can actually scroll down to see some use cases for Amazon S3. But today we're just gonna do the video on hosting the website. So I'm on the console here, so I can just type in S3 at the search bar. I got Amazon S3. So I'm gonna click on create a bucket. I'm gonna pick a name. Your bucket name has to be unique across Amazon S3. So I'm just gonna go with like a demo portfolio uh, website. So I'm operating out of the AWS Frankfurt region. It's an EU Central one. So I'm just gonna leave that as is. I'm gonna leave ACLs disabled. I'm gonna uncheck this because I do want public access for my S3 because it's gonna be a website you're hosting to the public. So you gotta uncheck that box, and this pretty much allows your objects to be visible to the public. We're gonna acknowledge that here. Everything else is gonna stay the same. The server side encryption is gonna stay the same, and we're gonna create a bucket. All right, so bucket's created. We're gonna click on the bucket, and we're gonna upload. We're gonna click on upload. Yeah. So we're gonna add. First of all, we're gonna add a folder. So I'm gonna first of all select my CSS folder. So you can wherever you have your CSS on your file system, you can select that. It's a folder, and then I'm gonna select my index.html file, which is gonna be so the index.html file is your starting point to your website. So that's when you go on your URL, that's the first page that's actually sent to the user. So I'm gonna select that in the root. So that has to be in the root um, path of my bucket. So I just added that. So selected all the objects, and we're gonna click on upload, and that's fine. So we're gonna click on close, and so now we see our folder has been uploaded to our bucket. Yeah, and we can actually see the path. We're currently on the root path of the bucket. So, and you have to remember these paths are actually just logical. So how Amazon actually stores these are Amazon stores each file individually as an object. So this whole path system is just a logical idea. It's not actually stored in like a file system. So yeah, so what we need to do is we need to go to properties. We need to go all the way to the bottom, and we gotta click on edit static website hosting, and we want to enable this, and we want to just host a static website, and we want to specify that our index.html file is indeed index.html. So you can name it whatever you want, but in standard, like in according to norms, it's index.html, and yeah, you can just save the changes, and so you've enabled static website hosting. So let's actually try to go there and see what happens. So if I just click on this, it's gonna tell me 403 forbidden, access denied. access denied, request ID. So it's telling you like you don't have access to that stuff. And why is that? So even though we actually enabled public access, we just actually enabled the possibility for that. We haven't actually given the permission for the bucket to actually be visible to the public. And so what that means is we got to come to the bucket policy, and this is like restrictions on your bucket. So this is how you actually grant access to whoever you want. So what we need to do here actually is we need to add a policy statement, and actually I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you can actually go to where Amazon actually gives you instructions on how to actually host a website, and they leave you this policy. So I'm just gonna go briefly over what this says. So this is the version of the policy um, syntax we're using. So you got a policy statement, you got a policy ID. So it's just like a unique name you can give to your policy. And in essence, what it says is you're gonna allow anybody. That's what the asterisk stands for. Anybody in the world, anybody with the URL, to be able to get objects. So that means you can actually, that's pretty much read access. So you can have read access on any object in this in this bucket. So here you actually have to give the bucket name. So my bucket name is actually demo portfolio uh, website. Just gonna copy that real quick, and I'm just gonna replace this part, the bucket name, right? So what you're actually doing is you're allowing anybody to get the objects um, in this bucket. So this asterisk stands for all objects in this object path. So we're gonna save those changes, and if I went back to properties and I went back to that URL, if I clicked on it, here's my website. So that's Randy Orton. If you don't know who he is, you can look it up. But if you ever heard of the RKO from out of nowhere, you've heard of Randy Orton. So yeah, so pretty much it's that simple to get your website hosted, guys. You don't have to go through so much like trying to figure out how much you want to pay per month. If you just had a website, you had an idea, you wanted to just give it a try, you can just put this uh, host your website on Amazon S3. Get the link and actually share your website. Get opinions about your website while you actually figure out if you want to use a managed hosting service or something like that. I'm going to show a video on how you can actually get this URL to something unique. So right now it has like some Amazon type routing and stuff. So I'm actually going to show you how you can actually change this URL to be something unique, so maybe more specific to what your business is about. So you can have your own domain hosting, and that's going to be with the service called Route 53. So I'm going to do another demo on that. So stay tuned, and yeah, like, subscribe if you actually learned something from this video, and yeah, have a good one.